Coming up on A SkinDepth Convo.
PDRN is a really fascinating input. So I don't think anyone could have imagined that DNA from salmon would have had such profound implications on the beauty world. And so what we have wanted to create is something that includes PDRN, collagens and laminins and fibrillins, and basically start with that as the foundation for a beauty product.
This is a show focused on educating and inspiring all those in the skincare and beauty industry. But it is also a show for those looking to improve themselves from the inside out. In each episode, we explore the latest trends, breakthrough technologies, and get expert insight within the dynamic world of skincare and beauty. If you're looking to further your beauty education and nurture your passion, you're in the right place. Renowned experts and hosts Metaxia Dalikas and Francine Kagarakis aim to educate and inspire through their own experiences and are dedicated to enlightening and empowering enthusiasts and professionals in the realm of skincare and beauty. Join the conversation and the fun with A SkinDepth Convo. Welcome to A SkinDepth Convo. I'm Anna Kagarakis. Today we're sitting down with the leadership team from a company called Wildtype to explore how biotechnology and regenerative science are beginning to reshape the future of skincare. From next-generation ingredients like PDRN to Wildtype's breakthrough marine cellular complex, also known as wild salmon stem cell conditioned media. This conversation is all about what's real, what's next, and how innovation is moving from cultivated salmon as a food source to a revolutionary skincare ingredient. And what makes this even more exciting is that it's a true San Francisco Bay Area collaboration. I'm joined as always by part of the founders of Lira Clinical, Metaxia Dalikas and Francine Kagarakis. Now, ladies, this is a real exciting time for Lira Clinical, and we're going to dive into the science of the conversation. But first, let me ask you both, what was it about Wildtype's technology that made you feel that this was the right partnership for Lira, and why now?
For me, things fall in our laps. There's something that it's incredible that happens to us when we're ready to promote something, and all of a sudden something comes into our hands and we have the ability to kind of add to it. It was just fate. I think something like that doesn't happen. We're just so surprised that it happened, and we were so grateful for it.
I'm very grateful. And because we were looking into regenerative skincare, PDRN is very, very popular, but to be able to have something better than just PDRN alone was phenomenal. And the research excited us so very, very much. So we're very proud of them and very excited that they're going to be on the podcast, and we've partnered with them to move forward with our new Regen line.
It's San Francisco based too. There's another sign there because
San Francisco collaboration.
San Francisco, yes.
That's so exciting. And we really do have an amazing conversation with them. And you're going to hear all about it right after this word from Lira Clinical.
This podcast is brought to you by Lira Clinical and the award-winning Mystique Illuminating Beauty Oil. Mystique Beauty Oil's amazing skin-friendly hydration delivers potent antioxidants and anti-inflammatories with Lira Clinical's exclusive Mass Tech brightening technology. This luxury oil blend is infused with vitamin C for a clean, dry finish on the skin. Use by itself or add to your favorite hydrator. Beauty oil delivers your glow and go look. Contact your local Lira retailer for additional information at liraclinical.com.
Welcome to A SkinDepth Convo. I'm Anna Kagarakis. Today we explore the science, innovation, and ideas shaping the future of skincare, as we bring together a roundtable of leaders at the intersection of biotechnology, regenerative science, and beauty. Joining us as always are two of the Lira Clinical founders, Metaxia Dalikas and Francine Kagarakis. But also joining us in the conversation is the leadership team from Wildtype. We have Dr. Aryeh Elfenbein, Justin Kolbeck, Dr. Larry Weiss, and Taryn Kim. And what makes this conversation even more exciting is that it's truly a San Francisco Bay Area collaboration. Lira Clinical, based in Livermore, is partnering with Wildtype, a biotechnology company pioneering cellular agriculture right in San Francisco, making this quite literally a San Francisco treat. Now, Wildtype is redefining what's possible through a technology that began in food science and is now making its way into skincare in a powerful way. This is where biotech meets beauty and where the next generation of skincare begins. So let's get into it. So welcome to the show, everybody. And before we get to know each and every one of you, let's learn a little bit more about Wildtype, because your company is doing something that's truly unique in biotech. So can you tell us how you actually started it?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. So Wildtype at its core is an innovation machine. And we started with a question almost 10 years ago, which was, do we need animals to make meat and seafood? And part of the reason we were focused on that is because in our seafood supply today, we just accept that we have to consume mercury in our fish, parasites in our fish, microplastics, and all of these environmental pollutants that find their way into their food system. And, it doesn't really matter what state you live in, whether you vote blue or red, anything. Nobody wants to put those contaminants in their body anywhere in the United States. And that was something that we were really focused on. So I'm going to gloss over the gory details of the 10-year journey that got us to where we are today. But the big milestones were we established the world's first large-scale salmon cell culture, orders of magnitude larger than anything that's ever been done before. We found a way to turn those pure, pristine, ultra clean salmon cells into really tasty food products. We got that process through a half-decade FDA review, and we launched those products about a year ago, starting with a restaurant partner up in Portland. Now, where our worlds intersect with Lira, as we started to launch these products and get them into the market, we were producing salmon cells at the 3,000 liter scale. And we realized as we grew the cells in these big bioreactors, which are basically a brew tank with an agitator and oxygen, pH control, and temperature control, we realized that we were creating as a co-product an incredibly rich, nutrient-dense, cutting-edge, never seen before type of co-ingredient, which could have transformational impacts for skincare and a number of other applications. And that's what got us here today. And hopefully we'll be able to dive into that a bit more.
That's fantastic. That's really exciting. And what you're doing is absolutely revolutionary. Let's talk about each and every one of your roles. Dr. Elfenbein, if you could actually talk about what your role first is with Wildtype and how you started the company.
Yeah, so my role as a co-founder came originally from the world of medicine. So I trained in internal medicine and then in cardiology, and also have a background in stem cell biology. And so I did a PhD in molecular and cellular biology, and thinking through a lot of our understanding of how cells communicate with each other, how they learn how to organize and come together and deal with some of the problems that they face on a daily basis. This was something that we've kept in our minds as we've thought about using what our salmon cells produce for beauty products. There are so many molecules that our cells use and rely on and message with on a daily basis, and that's what we've wanted to provide. So in terms of the company, my role is more on the scientific side.
All right. I think I have the dubious honor of being the only non-scientist among all of us. So I met Arya in 2011 while I was doing an MBA at Yale. He was there doing his training in internal medicine when we first met. I met at a dinner, funny enough. So my role at Wildtype is in the early days, it was to be the non-scientist, doing all the non-scientist stuff, making sure the bills got paid, hiring people, all of that stuff. And as the company has grown, I now oversee manufacturing, production, quality, still finance. I fix our laptops when they break. It's very much a startup environment. And very quickly, so immediately before Wildtype, I was a strategy consultant doing a bunch of problem solving for a wide range of private companies mostly. And then before my MBA, I was a U.S. diplomat, and I served in Peshawar, Pakistan, Melbourne, Australia, Paktika province, wow, Afghanistan, and a very short tour in Washington, D.C. And what got me really fascinated about this technology was the promise of using next generation technologies to solve massive really tricky global problems?
So I'm Taryn, and currently I lead the cosmetics R&D team. It's a totally new field for me because my background is actually similar to Dr. Elfenbein in molecular and cell biology. And I spent about 10 years in a lab learning about regeneration of hearing cells, actually, and gained all these skills. And at some point, I thought, man, this is really cool. I love doing biomedical research, but I want to take those skills and apply it to something more expansive, something that can bring a product to people and consumers. And I knew Arya from a few years before that, and he told me about Wildtype, and I thought, this is just crazy. But why not? We only live once. Let's do it. And I was the first employee, so it's been an adventure. And I've had the privilege of doing lots of different things at Wildtype, which is a lot of fun to be part of a dynamic company. And before I did cosmetics, I was involved in isolating the cells that we actually grow right now that create this magical ingredient. So I can't wait to talk about it more.
Just like Arya, I'm a physician. I trained in internal medicine, intensive care medicine. I'm board certified in anesthesia. I'm a bit of a recovering academic. And starting about 25 years ago, I got interested in the microbiome when the first data came out. And I've been working in this area ever since. We collaborate with Wildtype. We run an independent research unit called Biomimetics, where what we've done is we've created the most comprehensive model of what a biologically intact human microbiome looks like. And compared to where we are today, we can see what has changed and what we have lost, and how ingredients like this can actually contribute to restoring a lot of the lost resilience, which is really the foundation of health.
I just have to say, when we first met them in San Francisco, we were all very impressed with all of your bios. That's number one. And your building is absolutely beautiful. I think, Taryn, I remember that brick wall is absolutely beautiful. And we are so excited because PDRN is such a big deal all around our industry. And so for us to be able to talk to you and find out more about PDRN made a big difference for us as we are releasing new products with PDRN. So thank you so very much for all your research. And one of the biggest things I'd love to know is, why is Wildtype's, as we call it, marine cellular complex, so much better than PDRN alone?
PDRN is a really fascinating input. So I don't think anyone could have imagined that DNA from salmon would have had such profound implications on the beauty world. And yet, when we thought about PDRN on its own, we thought, why stop at just PDRN? That is, again, just one of the molecules that cells will interact with as they grow, as they regenerate. And so what we have wanted to create is something that includes PDRN, but is just far, far more. We wanted to recreate the entire environment that cells will grow and thrive within. Everything from the right salts and sugars to some of the structural proteins like collagens and laminins and fibrillins, some of the exosomes that the cells will use to communicate with each other, and basically start with that as the foundation for a beauty product. So many beauty products are based around water, and water is really just empty when it comes to all of those things that the cells rely on to thrive. And so what we've created with our marine cellular complex is something that is quite complex. It's something that has over 2,000 proteins that we've identified, a lot of the different lipids and exosomes that I was describing. And so that, in addition to all of the PDRN, is why some have also called it PDRN plus. It's PDRN plus thousands of other molecules that we've already seen, both on the cellular level and in terms of people using it, just how profoundly impactful it is compared to PDRN alone.
I have to jump in and say thank you for the plus, because you've made Lira outside of doing things outside of the box, as we always have in the past. And that plus is your team, and we want to thank you because it is a different ingredient with so much more to offer. So that plus, the name of the product, is definitely, that plus is very valuable for whoever has applied it or has the knowledge to support, what you're saying. So thank you again.
maybe if it's okay, I can pile onto that with another observation, again, from a non-scientist here. So what makes this ingredient so incredible to me is that it has everything that a natural, non-genetically modified salmon cell needs to grow outside of a salmon.
Yep.
Right? And just think about that for a second. A cell outside of the animal is getting all the nutrients, all the signals, the environment it needs to grow in a healthy, high-density, replicative way. And in fact, and this is the part that blew my mind, again, everybody else, the scientists on this call probably aren't surprised by this, but it was for me. Then when we took that same very rich nutrient broth and we tested human skin cells just to see the impact it would have potentially like on our face, other parts of the body, our human cells responded just as well as the salmon cells did. Again, to me as the layperson here, that was mind-blowing to me. And so the plus is not just 5 more things. It's this naturally balanced mix of things that allows cells to grow in a healthy, very natural way.
Do you like the word marine cellular complex better than wild salmon stem cell conditioned media, and why?
One of the challenges we had was, how do you take something that has these thousands of different natural inputs and come up with just one name for it? One name when it's completely new as a concept. And so we thought about this, and obviously the fact that it is a complex, it's an environment that the cells grow in and thrive within, that to us resonated as a word to describe the literal complexity of what we had there. In terms of where it comes from, I think that was a very important aspect as well. The fact that these are marine cells, these come from salmon, and that this was also an input that is made by cells for cells. And so the cellular part was important as well. And so, thinking through marine cellular complex, I imagine people will have other ways to describe this. And, a wild salmon stem cell conditioned media is another way to say it. I think that it's a lot to say. And sometimes people get lost halfway through that description. Whatever way it is to describe, as long as, there is transparency around what it is that we're creating, why it's so amazing. That's the most important aspect to us. And so for a lot of people, it starts with just describing PDRN plus. It's like PDRN plus what? And then we kind of describe it there. For others, I think that the marine cellular complex is a way to kind of envision this complex environment that cells really love. And for others who are kind of much more technically inclined, I think the fact that it is a conditioned media from stem cells of salmon is the most resonant way to describe it.
Well, we're going to use both for a while so they can understand it, because both of them make a lot of sense. But wild salmon stem cell conditioned media, you're right, it's something that they understand before marine cellular complex. But we're going with the complex too.
And look, this question is really important on a much larger scale than just this specific issue, because we have gone from looking at individual molecules as ingredients to systems, and we are doing systems biology. So what we tend to do is take a little piece out of it, and then we can put it into a little bucket. This is what this thing is. This is truly a scientific revolution. We're now looking at the system in its entirety and all of its complexity. So all of these peptides, all of these things within the exosomes, all of this stuff, it is a universe. If we keep it biologically intact, it contains the wisdom of probably hundreds of years of evolution to optimize the particular function of making sure that those cells have everything that they need to function at their full capacity. The idea of what do we call it is we're trying to take something complex beyond our imagination and put a couple of words on it so people can understand what it does. And that struggle is going to go on as we continue to do systems biology, as we continue to treat our physiology as a system and our health as a component of that system, as a reflection of that system, not as we're missing this molecule or there's this molecule or that. That's very simple, and it would be great if it was that simple, but it's not. The flip side, the thing that makes it really interesting is what we're able to do with this now is, now that we have an understanding of what the system looked like from the work that we have done in terms of looking at the fully biologically intact system in a population that doesn't have a disease and what function has been lost systemically. We can take an ingredient like this and not treat this piece or that piece, but really take a very holistic view, which is why you're seeing the types of results that you get, not just with the PDRN, which is the DNA, but with the entire biologically intact system. So it's a great question. What do you call it? But it is the tip of the iceberg of how do we expand our understanding so we look at it instead of under a microscope, under a wide angle lens.
There's nothing to compare this, Fran. There's nothing to compare this at all.
But if you remember, in our marketing team, they asked, okay, what does it do? And I turned around and said, everything.
Everything.
They go, no, that doesn't work. That doesn't. I go, no. We're talking long-lasting hydration, growth factors. It's bringing it back. It's bringing all of it back. And so in the marketing team, we had a very difficult time positioning these products because it is so powerful. And they're great products. And Dr. Weiss, you're absolutely right. It does so many different things. Where do you position it? So regenerative is the only way we were able to talk about it and talk about different things that it does. But it was difficult.
I think what they realize in our marketing team is the visual of before and afters, the inflammation, the difference of the wellness of the skin. All of a sudden you see that the skin is becoming stronger and healthier. And that's what we are looking for, the microbiome, to be sure that we keep our skin intact and healthy. So visually, the before and afters are incredible what this ingredient is doing for us in this industry.
Yeah.
Pro-aging.
The way I describe it, I just call it skin food.
Yeah.
This is what healthy skin needs. It's skin food.
I like that. Skin food is a very good, so it comes back. It's energized. It's alive.
One of the things that we lost 80% of our microbiome. What's more importantly is not who, but what they were doing. And 25% of the contribution is just gone. Another 45% is diminished, but it falls into two big buckets. And one is the prevention of inflammation and oxidation, which are the same thing. And the other one is all sorts of secondary metabolic pathways that make nutrition. So we don't have those. So we're oxidizing, we're rusting, and we're starving. And that stress is reflected in the performance of your skin stem cells. Skin turnover time, the amount of time it takes for skin to turn over, gets extended when stem cells are stressed. And so what this is able to do is replace a lot of that function so that turnover time comes down. There's less inflammation. And there's all these other things that, to be honest, are still out there to be discovered about how this works. But what we're doing is we're restoring something that was missing. And when you do that, all of the side effects are beneficial side effects as opposed to adverse side effects.
Let's talk about the difference between Wildtype's animal-free salmon PDRN and conventionally sourced salmon. What's the difference between the two?
The wild source, typical conventional PDRN is taken from actual salmon that are harvested from our oceans. And I mean, frankly, we have to kill the animal to harvest this material. With Wildtype conditioned media, which includes PDRN, we don't have to do that. You know, we isolated one cell from one fish, was it 7 years ago? Almost 8 years ago now. And we haven't had to go back to any animal. And the entire process, the media, the food that we feed them, doesn't have any animal inputs either. So we can't say it's vegan because it's a salmon cell, right? It's an animal cell that's producing all these wonderful growth factors and exosome peptides, but the DNA, of course, it's within the cell that the DNA is produced. We don't have to hurt any animals to do this. So it's we're really proud of that. It took a long time to get there. And we're so happy to share that with you.
We're very excited to share that around the world because a lot of people are very concerned about animals. So that is a very big thing.
One thing I would add is that the state of our food system also has a unique intersection when it comes to what we're describing here. So a lot of the PDRN today also faces issues for traceability in terms of where actually does it come from. And as we've seen some of the problems of fish farms being able to keep up with demand, the sources of PDRN are sometimes becoming a bit more obscure. Sometimes it's coming from countries that are sanctioned. Sometimes it's coming from sources that are actually not salmon. And a lot of the verifiability is becoming problematic in the beauty industry. These are all problems that we solve in San Francisco. We'll take the cells and verify the species. We ensure that we know where all of the input in the way that we produce it.
It's huge.
And nobody said this, so I'm just going to say it. PDRN comes from salmon sperm.
That's the word we don't say all the time. We use DNA instead.
That's the thing, right? From a dirty animal versus what we're making over, the left shoulder of Terran there is in a clinical grade GMP facility in the heart of San Francisco. The distinction there could not be more stark, I think.
Look, I want to add something because this is what they're saying is a reflection of something that I think is really important. And I'm just going to call it moral ambition. That every place, that everything that we do and everything that it touches, we find a way that it makes it better. It's pretty easy to say. Very hard to do. And this team here has done this in an area where, let's just say, there's some excessive difficulty factors. And bringing that to the market, the way the Lira team is doing it and telling this story, one, it gives people hope at a time when hope is in relatively short supply, that not only can we do these things, but we can do them and have them make things better rather than have a collateral damage somewhere that we're pretending that we're not there. Arya, you and I met you when you first got there. We were early tenants there. And just watching the evolution of this, look, it's really important. And that's an important part of the story as we talk about the trees, to remember that the forest here is something that can be done, that we can all, in everything that we do, try to have a moral ambition to make things better. It's one of the things to me about this project, which makes it such a pleasure to work with a team.
I have to say, Fran and I and Anna, we walked into your facility and we felt the respect of each of you, but the respect of this earth, the respect of what you're doing to make it a better earth, and to watch what we're doing and be conscious of the environment and how we could get better and not, like I said, abuse the environment. We look for fast results, and that's not the real thing. If we take time, and you guys are spending a lot of time and doing something right and calculating everything and verifying everything for a better earth, we're very similar in that. Skincare is skincare, but when you reach a little bit more for that clarity and the verification and do it better than what we've done in the past, I think we're just very proud as a company to be associated with such a fantastic team. And I just hope that people will understand that we all have to pay attention and try to do better. We need to on a daily basis.
And to inspire people to do better. And whatever it is that they're doing, that this is hard, we're doing it, you can do this too.
Yeah.
When we left, though, I had a difficult time explaining what you do because the word GMO keeps coming up.
Yes.
Genetically modified organisms, if I'm correct, right? And so when we were trying to explain when we left, we had a difficult time. So can you explain the difference between GMO and how you're doing it, cultivated salmon, if I'm saying it correctly?
You're saying it perfectly, Francine.
Okay.
So GMOs are organisms, as you said, where the DNA has been changed. And you take DNA from a different organism and kind of stick it in the first one that you're trying to change to, create some type of trait. So it's interesting. We had a lot of these types of conversations at the beginning of Wildtype. Do we go GMO? Do we not? And people had really good points. I mean, with genetic engineering, we've seen amazing advances in cancer treatment, drought-resistant crops, and even down to our daily lives, like the seedless watermelon, right? I mean, when I was a kid, there were seeds in watermelons, and now we can just enjoy it without the seeds, and it's still delicious and nutritious. And all that said, it was really important to us to remain with the natural, original sort of cell. What we found as we continued our research is that when we look to the natural world for inspiration on what type of food to feed these cells, right? Justin had mentioned creating this environment with all the nutrients that the cells need to grow and grow quickly. When we look to nature for that inspiration, the cells grew even better. So we just have this deep respect for what is in nature, what the earth has provided for us, and using that as direction for how to encourage these cells to grow and produce ever more beneficial components like these exosomes. And we are not GMO. We have not genetically engineered our cells to produce anything, and yet they do it naturally. So it's just amazing. It's a win-win for all of us.
And I'd like to help reframe this, because unfortunately the word natural and nature has gotten so badly
confusing.
used that it's spread all over the place. And so the way that I've chosen to think about it is, again, biologically intact. We respect the wisdom of the biology, of which, look, let's be honest, our knowledge is finite and our ignorance is infinite, and we're constantly learning. And there's so much more that we don't know that we do know, that when we go in with an arrogance of saying, well, we know a little bit, but we think we can make, in some case, billions of years of biological wisdom better, something that we only discovered that we knew anything about a few years ago. I don't frame things in the term of natural because it gets lost in there, but it's biologically intact. We respect the wisdom of this biologic optimization that we call evolution. And so, whereas the use of tools to genetically modify organisms has certainly brought some very useful, certainly within healthcare, within the context of the stuff that we are doing here, start by respecting the wisdom. As we get to know more, we may do other things with it. But today, for where we are, this material, which is complex beyond, I assure you, it's complex beyond our imagination. The number of things that are in it is like the stars in the sky. And that's what makes it wonderful and beautiful and effective. I don't use the word natural for the reason that it gets confusing, but biologically intact and respecting the wisdom of the biology is something people can wrap their head around. And it reframes the conversation.
I just wrote it down. I'm going to be putting it all over the place now. Biologically intact. I had this hard time explaining the marine cellular complex, aka wild salmon stem cell conditioned media, but biologically intact helps. And you're right, natural is written everywhere and it doesn't mean anything. You're absolutely right about that.
Biologically intact skin food. How about that?
Skin food. Okay.
Yeah, skin food.
My pen's out. Got it.
I think that was a good explanation, because when we did some of the trade shows, the medical trade shows, they kept referring to the GMOs. You can't do it. And yes, it is, we're not altering what's beautifully done, not you say the word again, Fran?
Biologically intact.
Biologically intact.
Skin food.
Not skin food. Biologically
intact. It's going to be all over
skin
the place
food.
now.
Yes. Okay.
I love that.
I'm writing it down.
Skin food.
Run with
it.
Yes. I'm going to. Yeah, we're going to take that one. It's down. It's in here now. It's done. Okay.
Quick and
it's
easy.
Clear. It's definitely clear. This is something that's so revolutionary. And keeping so beautifully done. We're talking about things that are clean, sustainable, something that's important to obviously each and every one of you, but it's also important to other people who have decided to partner and back your company. Can you talk about some of the people who are also believing in this future?
A range of different people who, along this 10-year journey have become inspired to be part of it in one way or another. Some of the investors who have joined us from the early days have spanned from food companies to celebrities, to people who just believe in a cleaner, more sustainable, more accessible future for seafood and products like these. And it's been incredible just to see the range of different people who have come together for a mission like ours. Yeah, one of the people I think who we met pretty early on was Robert Downey Jr.
Because the bear is worried that its constant reliance on harvested salmon is not sustainable, that its food source could be filled with microplastics, mercury.
And he is somebody who wanted to take a different approach to environmental activism from others,
Got chills.
and created a mini series actually about taking some of his most beloved vintage cars and turning them into electric vehicles. He is somebody who just believes in leaving the world a better place than the moments in which we joined it. And he's somebody who just immediately got what it was that we were doing. He had this vision of describing it from the standpoint of a bear in Alaska, and wanted to actually create a short film around this. But it's just one example of of the types of people who, along this journey have just been inspired by one aspect or another of what we've been trying to do.
Iron Man, Stark Enterprises.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Great to see
His idea was, the bear's kind of hanging out by the stream, and up swims a salmon. Bear picks it up, looks at it. Nah, too much mercury. Tosses it out.
Yeah.
Another
See?
another
Creative.
salmon swims up. Nah, too many microplastics. No thanks. And then our salmon kind of floats along. He's like, delicious, and pops it in his mouth. And
So cool.
he went one step, and this was pre-AI video slop days. So he had somebody on his team actually put together a version of that, and then he voiced it over. We didn't even ask him to do that. He just kind of did that for us because he saw technology. And I think that's kind of the unifying moral ambition that Dr. Weiss was talking about. There's a lot of people out there that see an opportunity to use technology, can't on its own, but certainly as an accelerator for fixing big problems. And, this was his way of doing that through his kind of creative vision, which was a ton of fun.
Well, it is delicious because when we were there, you were kind enough to prepare some salmon for us. It was like surgery for you, Dr. Ari. I saw that. You put it precisely, so cool. How you did put it on a cracker, and you put even some dill, if I remember correctly, some salmon and a little bit of balsamic. And I'm thinking, wow, you must do some good surgery there because you were doing such a great job preparing that. And then we were able to try it, and it was absolutely delicious. And a lot of times sometimes if I eat some seafood and it has that fishy taste, it's like I don't like it. I was able to try it, and it was absolutely delicious.
You couldn't tell the difference. You could not tell the difference. And to have that type of accuracy in the look and the texture and the taste was amazing.
I was just going to say to Taryn's point about looking to nature for inspiration, there's so much in the beauty and also complexity of what salmon looks like. We always eat with our eyes first. And this has been also just a big part of the journey, is how do we create something that's immediately recognizable, that is as natural as what would grow inside of a fish now that we're growing it outside of the fish. And so it's very kind of you to say it's been quite a long road, but it's one that I think we'll actually always be on because we'll always be looking to get closer and closer to nature.
Where can people find the food, by the way? If anybody wants to try the salmon, where can they try it?
I mean, I got to start with our hometown of San Francisco.
Yes.
So if you're here in the Bay Area, go to Robin in Hayes Valley. It's a delicious California omakase, probably not saying that right, omakase, sushi experience. Super delicious. It is luxury food served up in a really hip, energetic setting. Just ask for Wildtype. They don't have a menu, as most omakase places don't. So just, ask for it. Make sure the server knows you're looking for it. It's also available in Portland, Oregon, Seattle, Tucson, Arizona, and hopefully an expanding group of restaurants from there. So it's been great, actually, the last year, seeing people try it for the first time, giving us feedback. It's been a really exciting journey.
Well, I also heard that Dr. Weiss was able to get a prototype of our cream and gave it to Taryn. I've had it. Okay. How was that experience? Yes, you do.
I have my ways.
I remember that we were on the phone actually, and Dr. Weiss said, "Oh, and I got a sample of the prototype," and I was like, "Oh my God," just yelling. And when he gave it to me, I tried it on and I gave it to some of my colleagues, and it just felt so luxurious. The aroma was beautiful, it was reminiscent of like youth and joy, and It was incredible. And I remember like hours later, I was working and I realized, oh my God, this is still so soft.
That never gets old.
No.
It doesn't. So it is beautiful.
I wanted to pick up on a thread you've said, which is, I don't know if you realize this, but the opposite of regenerative is extractive.
All right, this all down. Keep going.
Yeah.
Okay. Keep going.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And I've been doing things like this for a long time, and I spent a lot of time thinking about, I'll give you an idea. I started a company a long time ago called Cleanwell, and we were using a natural material, thyme oil, to replace some synthetic chemicals in products that people were using, but we were selling it in little plastic bottles. And now I'm looking at this thing and I'm like, oh my God, I'm in the plastic business. And everywhere we look at the things that we're doing, the places where is it extractive or is it regenerative? And I find it fascinating that you're using the term regenerative is sort of a centerpiece of how you talk about this, because we all need to start thinking about, or how our purchasing decisions, whether they're extractive or regenerative. One of the things that comes out of working with a community of hunter-gatherers is realizing they have been living sustainably in that ecosystem for probably 12,000 years. We don't know how to do that.
No.
But we used to know how to do that. And we can do this again, sort of the way this company has had that sort of infused in it. And sometimes you're not even aware of it. It's just, this feels right. And when you look at why it feels right, it's because there isn't a waste stream over here of something. There's ways of, recapturing that. So I'm just fascinated by the idea that regenerative and extractive are how that projects into everything that we're talking about here today. I don't know if that's an answer to any question. It's a damn good answer to some questions.
I'm writing it down. It's really good for training. Fantastic.
Sometimes with just that sense, hey, this is right. And that's what we felt. And if we could show the world that it feels right to do this type of technology or opportunities to make the world and the earth better, it feels right. You said it right.
We are very happy and proud that to be collaborating with you, partnering with you. We just thank you so very much for allowing us to have the opportunity to use your conditioned media, the wild salmon stem cell conditioned media in our products, because it is so very exciting to be able to offer this with all the information, all the education. All of this is so very important because more and more people understand how to use skincare, and we are looking at it in a way where we're doing it in a positive way. We're pro-aging, not anti-aging, and that's something we've already changed, because pro-aging is what we're looking for. Wellness is very important. Inflammation is very important. So all of this becomes great for us. So we appreciate this opportunity from you, and it makes a big difference for us. So thank you. We really appreciate this.
And never before, the word never before fits with this. This is so new. Never before. And we just hope that you continue your hard work and keep going, because I think you're just beginning this journey. I think you have so much more to offer as a team and as a company. And we're looking forward to follow you guys, not just in cosmetics, in what you're doing outside of just cosmetics too. You guys are fantastic.
And our chemist, which we also are encapsulating it, getting it deeper into the skin. It is such a fabulous ingredient.
Wow.
So we're taking every type of technology we can to make sure it is the best there is and delivering it deeper into the skin. So thank you very, very much for a great ingredient.
Can we really quick explain what this does to the skin? Just because of this collaboration, it is so important to see what you have put out there. Kind of explain to people what they can expect.
For me, what I could tell you, we're searching for correcting skin and skin conditions. But you don't just traumatize the skin to get the correction. As the past, we would kind of try to get the skin to kind of heal itself back. We're giving the tools to make the skin get better and get the wellness part of the skin and heal the skin before we try to correct a condition. For us, skincare is changing. Technology has given us opportunity to feed the skin, to get the skin healthy so it can go back to a healthy youthful state. So for us, technology has changed the way we look at skin in so many different ways. I mean, we used to peel. Dr. Wise would.
We still do.
All of you
do
know.
To a point.
Yeah, but we used to peel.
Still do.
So aggressively and hope and have the skin come back in days and days of downtime. And now we're giving the skin with strength to heal and to be, better. And it's just so much different than we used to do 10, 15 years ago. We've advanced to a whole different level.
We've progressed, and a lot of our training has always been, before you do a peel on the skin, the microbiome has to be intact.
Yes.
That way you're going to get the results. So the fact that we are using regenerative ingredients and making sure that we build the skin up to be resilient, to be healthy, to be younger, all of this together, where this particular ingredient offers that, is fantastic. So this is where we can correct, as Metaxia is saying on the top, to rejuvenate, but we still have to make sure that microbiome, Dr. Weiss, microbiome has to be intact enough so when we do the correction, we don't make the condition worse. And that's one thing we work on.
An interesting framework of the way to think about it is, we've talked about postbiotics. And postbiotics are the beneficial products, and we think of it as the beneficial products of the microbiome, of microbes. But eukaryotic cells, our cells, make stuff too. It's called a secretome, secreted. And when we add "ome" at the end of something, it means there's a whole lot of stuff in there that we don't know anything about.
Keep writing, Greg.
I'm writing.
Okay. I learned something all the time. All the time. Dr. Weiss, Francine has not recovered. She is constantly going over and over. She is like, I can't talk about anything else except what you guys are doing. She's overwhelmed with this. And I'm right there next to her writing notes. I can't keep up with her.
That, by the way, that is emblematic of a scientific revolution.
Yeah.
The fact that it comes in and it's transformative. It takes concepts, deeply held concepts, and now one looks at them differently. The life sciences today is where physics was 100 years ago. And you can imagine, these classical physicists with their buttoned up equations watching Einstein and this oncoming chaos and dismissing it as wrong or irrelevant. And they did. They even wrote a book, 100 Authors Against Einstein, to which he responded, if I'm wrong, why would you need more than one? And so it's not that what they were doing was wrong. It was a small part of a much larger, much more dimensional problem that at the time they couldn't even imagine. And the people who came in with this came from outside their field. Our concepts will transform and will expand. And they're going to go lots of different places, but the one place they will never go is back to the point before that happened. And so a lot of the things that we think about in terms of skincare, like I was really interested in seeing how you were going to answer that question that Anna raised there. How do you communicate this, right? Because we want to put things into nice little digestible. Years ago, I was told by a design firm I had 9 words. As you can tell, I wouldn't be able to do that. Now it's probably 6. How is you take this big complex thing and you put it in there and you meet people where they are. But again, whatever the terms that we use to describe it, recognize that they are only temporally accurate, if they're accurate at all. They have some degree of meaning which helps people wrap their head around something which they still have yet to understand. And let's take the next step. But we are restoring things that we lost. And when you put back things that we lost, again, the side effects are going to tend to be beneficial. And so how is it you tell people it's going to work? Well, again, I brought it down to the things that make sense to me, which are it's biologically intact skin food. This is what we had. What is the benefit? One of the things, and look, there's still a lot more work that needs to be done in what I'm about to say. But skin turnover time, the amount it takes for the skin to turn over, which is the function of your stem cells, that's actually what they're there to do. As they are stressed, that gets stretched out. So it starts out as an infant at 3 to 4 weeks and can be many months, when you're at my age. If we give the skin the things that it's missing, that will compress down. And that has an impact on aging and on inflammation and on just general appearance. And more important than this is that inflammation on the skin has a systemic effect. At any given point in time, 15 to 50% of your cardiac output is going through your skin. And if there is inflammation going on the skin, some of the consequences of that are going to go right into the central circulation. It's similar in the gut, but in the gut, it's going to go into the portal circulation. It'll go through the liver first. This goes right in there. So there is not just an impact on the surface of your skin, but this is a a decision about using a product like this changes the way you think about what you're doing and why you're doing it. And I'm not telling you it's going to be easy, because it's not, because people tend to look at things through the spectacles of what they've been told before. And in a scientific revolution, it's new spectacles. It's a new perspective. When you have something like this, where the impact of using it is apparent in such a short period of time, that itself carries an awful lot of the inertia of change.
I just take this all in. And I sit there and I
Like
try
you're
to
a
explain it to
sponge.
the marketing team, and they
Trust
look at me and
me,
they go, "Oh
trust
my
me.
God, she's lost it."
She's lost
And I
it.
say, because
Bring
to
her
this
back.
day,
Bring her back.
what is it for?
I get
It's
that a
for
lot.
everything,
So
yes.
And thank you to you all for being literally the first to put this incredible ingredient into a product for consumers. I
agreed.
Thank you for allowing us to be the
Yeah.
ones. Thank you.
I have to say, I seriously need to upgrade my skincare game. So I'm
Well, you're
very
going to
excited.
get some. It's
Hey,
sending it. We're just waiting for it to come in.
I want to buy it. I want to
No,
buy.
no.
my
No, we'll
own-
get you some.
Yeah.
We think we can give you some.
I want to buy
We'll
our
give you
own
some.
product. I'm gonna swipe my credit card because I want to buy the first product that's featuring this.
Okay.
Justin, I've done that.
He's already got it.
It is exhilarating. The other thing that's going to be exhilarating, and I don't know, is like the first time you see someone else use a product that you made. There's just something about the fact that it feels like impact. It feels like, and I'm sure you've seen this with the food, where you let people eat it and they're enjoying themselves. That kind of sensation, that thing where all the hard work and all the years that go into, no one sees all that.
Yeah.
No one has any idea how hard you guys worked to get it here. But the gift that they will give you the first time you watch them use and enjoy something that you made, priceless.
Yep. Yeah, that's right. And, all of us on this call are small business entrepreneurs, right?
It brings tears to my eyes because we presented it to some of the physicians in Monaco, and to see them, and they were so impressed. It was like, I can't explain it. You said it right. It's in a feeling like no other. It's amazing.
And that's the product that's in clinical studies right now. It's our
Yeah.
MD complex. And we have given it to doctors around the world. And there was from the Czech Republic, a physician in Monaco that I gave it to her the one day. And I said, now give me your email. You have to tell me, how do you feel the next day? She came by the next day and says, how fast can I get it? And I say, that one is for 2027. I think we're going to finish the clinical studies and we'll tell you. But we've been passing it out at the AAD. We passed it out in the Monaco at the show over there. So people are loving the prototypes that are out there. A lot of our own people have tried these products. But as soon as it comes off the truck, you're going to have some.
I have to tell you a quick story. We were in Monaco having dinner, and I had a big bag of Lira next to me, and I was sitting next to a couple. Yeah. And all of a sudden, this man is just looking at us, and what is that? And they had gone to the medical show in Monaco. And I started speaking to his wife, who's speaking English, and she says, "This is my husband, a doctor from Mexico." He wasn't even involved in the conversation. What are you doing? And I was just enthused about this PDRN and the wild sound conditioned media. I'm talking during dinner. So all of a sudden, he's just paying attention. And she says, my husband is one of the top plastic surgeons in Mexico. I was okay, but I wasn't looking for anything. I was just excited about the Salmon conditioned media. I was just happy. And so all of a sudden, he comes and he starts speaking to me in English. And he was like, he got involved and he goes, I want some of this. I'll be home in 2 weeks. I want to be involved. And so now Anita, his wife, is going and we're communicating. But it just, like you said, it was a moment of dinner. It was nothing to do with the show. Like you said, you met. And now we're going back and forth. And he is just amazed because he wants to be one of the first plastic surgeons to do this. And they use PDRN. Now the purity of your PDRN, the advancement of your PDRN plus, he's just over the top because he knows what he had and what he can have as even more is so incredible. So it's just a moment, like you said, that aha moment was there for me. It's like, I didn't have to sell it. It was there.
No, they saw your enthusiasm.
Yes.
And it's there. And people know when you're saying the truth. They know.
Mm-hmm. It's very true.
And so they saw your enthusiasm. It was there.
And he has 150,000 followers. And so I can't wait. And so I told them if he has any interest to talk to you, because he was impressed of what you guys are doing. So once we get this you'll probably get some calls from, doctors all over the world.
Oh, a few of them.
Well, thank you. We're
That's
ready.
great.
We can make a lot of this
Just-
ingredient. So we're really excited and confident that this is going to be a hit. And we could not have picked a better launch partner with somebody in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
So
Thank
it's
you.
exciting.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. And we're San Francisco
Hey.
Yeah,
girls.
they are.
Yes.
We're from the city.
Yep.
Yes.
All of us born in San Francisco.
See you at
All
the
of
Giants
us.
game.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Love
Go
it.
Giants.
Go Giants.
I'm the heartbroken A's fan over here. It's okay. It's okay. I'll let that one slide, but that's okay. But that's all right. But you know what? Still Bay Area proud. So very happy and excited to see what's to come in the future here. This is an exciting time. Very revolutionary. So excited. So excited to have all of you on here today. Thank you so much for joining us. And we're excited for an amazing partnership up ahead.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
It's amazing.
A big thank you to the leadership team from Wildtype for joining us. That was a lot of information, a lot of great information. What were your thoughts?
I am overwhelmed. I hear Fran and Dr. Weiss talk. I hear the team. I just want to listen. I just want to hear. I want to learn. I am so inspired by all the knowledge that I'm learning and the technology. I'm just so excited to be able to listen to them. And Fran, you don't stop.
I'm impressed. I'm so impressed just with their bios. But the fact that they make it easy to understand, I appreciate very much so. What a great, great team. And we thank them so very much for all this research and what they have accomplished and what we're able to actually produce in our skincare.
And I think every day there is another update. It's from November to now. We're getting updated on a regular basis. So there's some new research that's coming and they're learning and they're sharing. So it's not that we're getting enough. We are just continuously learning and learning from all the new stuff that they're learning too. And it doesn't stop. It just keeps going. It's going. Yeah. It's great.
Yeah, I find it so fascinating to see just the idea of how everything came together and just the science behind this is so mind-blowing and how it started to where you are now. And this is exciting because you are the first company to use this ingredient. So you are the first skincare company to use this ingredient. And we're going to get more into the actual regen line that you're launching in the next episode of the show. So I just find this so fascinating how science is truly it's so amazing to see this technology and what's coming from it.
Change the game, complete skincare, and regenerative is a new way to look at skincare.
Remember, I'm the rejuve, she's a regen, the yin and the yang.
They go together. They go
together. They complement each other. It's the way skincare is moving. It's not just one way. We're learning multiple ways to keep the skin at its wellness state and a youthful appearance. I mean, it's just incredible what we're doing. So yes, both work.
Thank you, Wildtype, for what a great, great ingredient that we were able to incorporate. Thank you.
And putting you both together. I mean, two powerhouse companies coming together to create something so revolutionary. And I know a lot of people are going to be really excited to try this product out themselves. But that's going to do it for us today. And don't forget, you can subscribe to A SkinDepth Convo on any of your favorite podcast platforms. We're everywhere, like Apple Podcasts. We're also on Spotify. You could also watch the show on Spotify. See all our beautiful faces on there. And Lira Clinical, you can go to their YouTube page and you can watch the podcast there as well. Also, make sure to follow A SkinDepth Convo on all our social media channels. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, you name it. Just go to @SkinDepthConvo. That's @SkinDepthConvo. And if you have any questions for Francine or Metaxia, you could send us an email at info@skindepthconvo.com. That's info@skindepthconvo.com. A big thank you again to the leadership team from Wildtype for joining us today, and from all of us at A SkinDepth Convo. I'm Anna Kagarakis, and we'll talk soon.